Yo, what's good with it? Uh, man, it's day 3 in this motherfucker. We got the best high school basketball team of all time. Now we should already know who this team should be.
Teams in high school basketball.
But let's get straight into it, my nigga.
Stacked every year. IMG Academy has had a ton of great teams and even Oak Hill. And that is just a very short list because there are many more. But the team we're going to be talking about today is the best team high school basketball has ever seen. When you're talking about the best team of all time in any sport, there's always a huge debate. And normally it's for good reason because you can always find a flaw in that quote-unquote best team. However, there was a basketball team in high school in the year 2015 through 2016 that had no flaws and demolished everybody. So who is this team and what made them so good and who all played on it? Let's dive into it. Meet the 2015 through 16 team known as no other than Chino Hills. And yes, we all knew this team was good when they were playing, but now looking back on it, they might have been even better than what we thought. We are going to dive deep into this team and all the key players, so get your popcorn, get your snack, get ready. This is going to be one great video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before their season even started, they was already predicted by many to be the sleeper team and go undefeated and be the best team in the country. And those are pretty heavy expectations, so they definitely felt the pressure. But everyone on this team was ready for it and they knew what was in front of them and they had to come and play each and every game. Now before I start going over all the players, I just want to let you guys know I'm not covering each and every player because this video would be way too long. We are just going to be covering the main 5 players on this team that stuck out the most. And for our first player, let's start it off with no other than Eli Scott. Eli was a 6'4" and a 190-pound small forward that could do a little bit of everything. Out of all the players we're going to cover, he was probably the most slept on because he was really good. And in 35 games played for Chino Hills, he averaged 15.8 points per game. So it's not like Eli was a role player, he was actually really productive. He also pitched in 2.4 assists and a very solid 8.6 rebounds per game. And those numbers were good enough to earn him a 3-star ranking, which is very solid as well. And he had a lot of small schools very interested in him, but ultimately he wound up deciding to go to Loyola Marymount. And at his college, for his freshman year, he averaged a great 12.6 points per game. As a freshman, that's very solid. And he also pitched in 7.3 rebounds per game and 2.3 assists. And flash forward in time to his recent year, which was his junior season, he jumped his points per game up to 15.5. But not only that, he also averaged 4.3 assists and 6.7 rebounds. I think it's safe to say Eli's having a great college career, and I think if he keeps it up, he can definitely play professional basketball. And even till this day, he's very underrated. So with that being said about Eli, let's head into our next player. Our next player we're going to be covering is a fan favorite. He was the point guard of this team known as no other than LaMelo Ball. Does he really need an introduction, and do I really have to say anything about this kid? He can absolutely hoop. By the time it was all said and done, LaMelo Ball was regarded as a 5-star recruit. And for Chino Hills during this amazing season, he averaged 16.4 points per game. But keep...
You stay with Ad, bro. Oh my goodness, boy.
Keep in mind, at the time, he was just a freshman and only 5'10". So for a freshman playing for the best team in the country to be putting up those great numbers, that's outstanding.
That's crazy.
He was an overall very solid point guard despite of his age. He got everyone else involved and he led this team. I'm not going to say too much more about LaMelo because you guys know the rest. He wound up playing one more year there, had a great year, then transferred, had another great year, and now he's looking like a top 5 NBA pick. With that being said, let's head into
our he went number
coming in at 6 foot.
What pick did he go? Hold on. Let me check something. What he averaged? 17.4. For sure. Do they got him as a draft pick though? Probably not. Oh my goodness. I forgot what pick it was. Two, third. Okay, yeah. He went top five. He went
Foot
top
five,
five.
weighing
Valid.
195 pounds, we have another
I had to
point
check.
guard
I
and
know.
also a McDonald's
Chill out on me.
All-American known as
Chill out on
Lonzo
me, bro.
Ball. This guy was an
Okay.
absolute beast for Chino Hills during their run and was a 5-star recruit as well. And not only a 5-star recruit, he was ranked the 4th best overall player in his class. I guess you could say that's pretty decent. And for Chino Hills during this season, he had one of the best high school seasons ever. In 35 games played, he averaged 23.9 points per game. And that sounds crazy good, but it gets even better. He averaged 11.5 assists per game and 11.3.
This nigga averaged a triple double.
Guys,
That's nice.
He averaged a triple-double. We gotta give credit where credit is due. Lonzo Ball had a great season. And another stat that really jumped off the board to me was he averaged 5.1 steals per game as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, all right,
and after his run
that.
at Chino Hills, he wound up deciding to sign with UCLA and had another terrific season. As just a freshman, he averaged 14.6 points per game, which is really impressive, but his overall game was just so smooth. He wound up also averaging 7.6 assists and 6 rebounds. So he had a great year as a freshman at college, and he wound up deciding to enter the NBA draft. And this was a very smart move because he was the 2nd overall pick in the NBA draft. And in his NBA career so far, he's had a pretty good career, and it seems like he only gets better each and every year. You guys just need to sit back and think about this. Lonzo Ball was drafted in the top 5 in the NBA draft, and it seems like LaMelo Ball is going to be drafted in the top 5 or 10 as well. As good as this team already sounds, it gets way better. So let's head into our next player. I know I may not be saying this right, but we have Onyeka Okongwu coming in at 6'8" and 225 pounds. And for Chino Hills, he was the guy who did all the dirty work and basically played power forward and center. And even though he's not extremely tall and he wasn't tall at the time, this was a great fit because they played extremely fast. And honestly, they really didn't need a center. For Chino Hills during this season, he wound up averaging 7.9 points per game and 7.2 rebounds. I get it, those numbers don't really jump off at you, but like I said, he did all of the dirty work that helped this team. And he was a very solid rim protector. He also averaged 3.1 blocks per game. And even though those numbers don't exactly jump off the board at you, he wound up being a 5-star recruit as well. So guys, think about it. We had 3 5-star recruits on one team. That is insane. And he had a ton of college offers as well, but he wound up deciding to keep it close to home and sign with USC. And in 1 year as a freshman, he once again, like all these other players, had an outstanding year. He averaged 16.2 points per game and 8.6 rebounds. And just like in high school, he was very good on the defensive side of the ball. He averaged 2.7 blocks per game. And just like Lonzo Ball, he wound up deciding to enter the draft after just 1 year. And I've seen him projected as high as number 3 on the mock draft, but a lot of people say he's going to be in the top 10 or 15 for sure. So with just those 4 players, we have a number 2 overall pick, LaMelo Ball, who's going to be a top 10 pick for sure, and this guy who's going to be a top 15 pick or top 10 pick for sure as well. Which is crazy, but the crazier part is
Let me check.
And think.
Let me check. Oh, he's number 6. That's what's up.
Think about it. This was on the
Three
high
niggas
school
went top-
level. They're not
top
even
5.
playing the
I mean,
best
top
of
10.
the best competition. Imagine your name's Timmy and you had a hard day in math class, and then when it's over, you gotta go and play Chino Hills later that night. Alright, anyways, let's continue on with our video. Our last and final player we are going to be covering is no other than the disappointment of the group, which is LiAngelo Ball. Now, I know a bunch of you are going to go straight through the comments and be like, yo, LiAngelo sucks, this and that, but at the time, he was actually really good.
He
was
suck.
a shooting guard for this team, and he came in at roughly 6'6" and 240 pounds. And just like the other 4 players, he was ranked as well, but he was only ranked a 3-star recruit. And like I just told you guys, even though he's not doing really good now, at the time for this team in 2015 through 16, he had a great year. For the season, he averaged a whopping 27.4 points per game. Guys, that's extremely good. We gotta give credit where credit is due once again. Although he averaged a lot of points, he wasn't known for anything else, so he only pitched in 2 assists per game and 3 rebounds. But his job wasn't really to rebound or pass, he was just one of the main scorers for this team. And just like his brother Lonzo Ball, he wound up deciding to go to UCLA as well, but he got in a lot of trouble. Right when the season was
If he didn't get in trouble,
he
he probably would have. He probably
been
been in the NBA.
stuff. And there's
We
been
all
a
know
ton
that.
of videos on it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But long story short, it's just been an extreme downhill slope since then. And we really haven't heard too much out of this guy, and he's probably not going to make it to the league or anything special. Even though he's not special now, he was great for this team, so that's why we got to cover this guy and give him his props. So with all that being said, and those 5 players we just went over, let's do a brief rundown. For Chino Hills, we had 3 5-stars on one team, which is amazing itself, but we also had 2 3-stars on this team. And those guys were Eli Scott and LiAngelo Ball. I know I've said it a lot, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but I just can't stress enough how incredible that is. Yes, the players are good and the numbers and stats look good, but just how good were they? Well, the difference between this Chino Hills team and a lot of other teams is this one thing. These guys weren't just winning games and beating teams, they were literally crushing their opponents. The games they played in were not close whatsoever, and sometimes they would even run it up. But not only that, they were very entertaining to watch, and they had a unique style of gameplay. Oftentimes they would snowbird and play defense with only 4 players. And surprisingly, this wound up working a lot because they got a lot of free and easy baskets. And this team isn't like the Warriors where they choked at the end. Out of 35 games played, they won all 35, so they went 35-0. And yes, I know some of you wondering, yo, did they win the championship? Yes, they wound up winning the championship. And after they won that championship, this is what their coach had to say about it. We knew when the season started we had a chance to do something like this. So we said, let's go for it, let's schedule the best teams we can find. Let's travel all over and get the best competition we can. I'm more relieved than anything for it to come to this. As we got closer and closer to this game, the pressure kept building and building. You always worry about having that one game where everything goes wrong. And before we go any farther in this video, I just want to touch a little on that. He is completely right. I don't think you guys quite understand.
Fuck, bro. He was gonna be an
Understand how hard it is to go undefeated in any sport.
I got your basketball
If you
knowledge.
go undefeated, that means you showed up each and every night or each and every game and you didn't slip up once. And that's hard to do, especially for high school teams. And these guys answered the bell. They didn't even slip up one time. And here's what Lonzo Ball stated about their achievement. It's great to all be playing together and to accomplish this goal together. It's what we set out to do at the beginning of the season and we did it. And the reason I think this team was so good and the reason they won the championship is because before the season started, they put that goal in their minds. And once you focus on that main goal, you never think about losing or the negatives. You just focus on the positives, and that's what they did. Overall, this team was just a perfect team, and there was just no flaw in their game. They had 2 outstanding point guards in Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball. And then they had a main spot-up shooter in LiAngelo Ball that could knock down a lot of shots. And then to top it off, they had Eli Scott, who was very underrated and did a little bit of everything and was clutch for rebounds. And then they had a center who could get up and down the court and run with their momentum and their game style. And a reason I think they was so good because they was playing way ahead of their time. They was playing a game style that we really have never seen before. They was the definition of a run and gun type of team. Their play style was like the definition of the no huddle offense in football. I really don't even know if this team actually ran more than 10 plays throughout the season. That's how good they were. And there's been a ton of great and phenomenal teams in high school basketball. Do not get me wrong. But for a team to have 3 5-stars on its team and 2 3-stars, I just don't know how you top that. They weren't just rated 3 and 5 stars for no reason. They all produced very efficient numbers. So with the way Chino Hills not only beat their opponents, but literally crushed their opponents, and having not won.
Damn.
Hills not only beat.
It's the fucking 3rd quarter. Bruh. What the fuck?
Opponents, but literally crushed their opponents, and having not 1, not 2, but 3 5-star recruits and 2 3-star recruits, this is why they gotta be the best high school basketball team of all time. But hey man, with all this being said, that's about gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you are new to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and join the.
What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. You heard him. Subscribe to me. Fuck it. Fuck this nigga. Subscribe to me. First of all. Damn. But yeah, man. Day 3 out the way. I'm about to post until I can't post no more. I'm on it, bruh. Like, I'm not missing a day. I promise you I'm not missing a day. Alright, man. Doses. Shit.
If I catch you dissing on a guy